So in the book, on page 138, this is problem 97, and then there's parts A through whatever on it. We're going to do part B.
Is this like an example?
Yeah. I figure we've talked about how the chain rule works enough, so we can just kind of look at some more examples of using it today. It says, given that g of 5 is negative 3, it says, and g prime of 5 is 6, it says, and h of 5 is 3. Oh, and that's not all. It also says h prime of 5 is negative 2. Well, aren't they just full of information? It says find f prime of 5 for the following. So part B, they define f of x as g of h of x. So I guess the b probably kicks in right about here. Because all this other stuff's going to be the same for all the other parts. Were you in school when Vadim was here, the Russian exchange student?
Yes.
Did you ever meet Vadim? Interesting fella. I used to have to use like Google Translate sometimes for words, because even in Greek house there's sometimes words in there and I had no idea what they meant. So he'd come up to me every now and then and be like, point to a word, and like, this mean? I'd be like, I don't know. I'd type it in Google Translate and there'd be some Russian word there that made no sense to me, and he'd be like, oh, okay, and he'd go sit down. That just seems for sure remind me. One day he comes up to me after class, and he's like, can I see that translator again? I'm like, all right, so I brought it up. And he types in B-E-D-G-E-R, Badger. I'm like, oh, wait. I'm like, I think you want this. And I backed up, I changed to Badger. I hit enter, and it went to some Russian word. I had no idea what it meant. Oh, okay. He goes, that's what I thought. Whenever I see badgers now, I kind of think of Vadim, and I see it a lot, you know, of where I live and whatnot. He was. So let's figure out, before we get f prime of 5, we need to first get f prime of x. So f prime of x, how do we do that?
Chain rule.
Well, yeah, it's a chain rule, right? We're taking the derivative of a composite function. So, as it's defined, what up here would be our outer function?
G.
G is the outer function, h is the inner function. So we literally have outer prime, so that would be g prime of the inner function h of x. Yeah, then you got a chain on the derivative of the inside. In this case, that's going to be h prime. Once you have that down, so every now and then I like to ask a question, so you're using the rule, you kind of stop, in a good way, you kind of stop thinking about what you're doing to a point. If you use it enough, it's like, you know, when you first start doing 5 times 7, you're like, 5, 10, 15, 20, and you were very conscious probably of the fact that you were adding 5 to itself 7 times. And then you get good at it, and you stop thinking about it, you just go 35. Which is good and bad. It's good because you're fast. It's bad because maybe you forget what you're doing. So with chain rule, you do it enough, and you start maybe stop thinking about what you're doing, and then they throw this at you. And you're like, oh, there's no numbers there. But what they want you to do is go back and think about what you're actually doing. So this is the very definition of the chain rule. Right? All right. Once you've got that, it's easy to get f prime of 5. It's just going to be g prime of h of 5. instead of h of x. It's specifically h, or h of 5, times h prime of 5. I'm like, wait a minute, they didn't give us functions where I can find all this stuff out.
Well, they took the easy way.
Right? What are the odds? So they give you, you really got g prime of h of 5 of 3, right? So I'm taking out the h of 5 and I'm replacing it with 3 because it says I can. H prime of 5, negative 2. Yeah, so now we gotta do g prime of 3. Uh-oh.
This looks like a problem.
You just stopped it.
I think you just stopped.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
May as well get
Ah, I didn't read all my directions. What's it say? What's the very last sentence in the directions? Yeah. They don't give us g prime of negative 3 in this handy dandy list. So in context of this problem, it's not possible because we need g prime of 3.
Sly dogs there.
Okay. Let's do part D. It's like, should I hurdle Bryce's leg or should I just go down the next tile? I'm the guy, I'll go down the next tile.
Did you hear that?
No.
Jonathan, I said it really loud too, good.
Yeah.